Hello, Parveen. I'm Jean. I'm a volunteer at the museum, as you know, I think.
Yeah, welcome, Jean. And I'm Parveen, and I'm a volunteer for the project Belonging to Crawley.
Great, yes. Yes, I got involved in the project because it made me think about the word belonging. You know, what does it actually mean? My late husband and his family moved here from London in the 1940s. So they belonged. They had jobs, they had children here, they had schools, you know, this was where they belonged. And yet, after my husband died, I took his ashes back to London, and that made me think, you know, where do we belong? Yes.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I was born in a place called Kashmir, top of a mountain, and it was a beautiful place. But you're right, where do we actually belong? Because I do associate myself with Kashmir. I go back every few years. I've still got family there. And I'm a really big believer in identity and heritage and roots.
Yes.
So it's a good question. So, I mean, but I do feel like I do belong in Crawley now. Yeah, and I think it's okay to belong in different places at different times of your life.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And you mentioned roots, which reminded me, I was talking to my 14-year-old grandson. He was born in Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge, raised in Cambridge, at school in Cambridge, and I was talking to him about this project, and he said, "This is not where I belong, Grandma, it's where my roots are." And he was saying, much as you say, you know, where he belongs will be perhaps where he goes to university, maybe he'll get married and settle, and that's where he feels he'll belong. But it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is what I liked about the project, because it does make you think about questions about belonging, think about questions where you place yourself as a family, as an individual, but also the transition in our lives as well, where you go to college, where you go to university, if you get married, what sort of relationships you're in, where do you, as individuals, how do we think about ourselves? But we are moving all the time, I think.
Yes.
And I think we are moving in our lives emotionally, our emotion journeys, but also what do we call as home?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was growing up in London, families tended to stay in very much the same place, didn't they? But you're quite right, today we move around a lot, you know, quite often to a different country, like you, or you know, certainly maybe the other end of the United Kingdom. And it's really got my head spinning, actually, thinking about all this.
Yeah, which is good, because belonging is such an emotional word as well, though, isn't it? And it's just like, and I think sometimes it's good to question yourselves as well. It's good to think about things. And like you're saying, we go all over the world. We're not in one place. And within ourselves, we have these journeys, emotional journeys. We have sadness. We have all sorts of things going on. But I think if wherever you are and you put a lot into it, you can belong to that place as well. It could be a short time or a long time. But I think, I mean, I look at it as a global context. So I belong to the world. I belong on a global context. And on a smaller scale, I belong to Kashmir. I belong to England as well. And I belong to Crawley on a more local scale. So, yeah, I love it. That's why I love this project.
Yes.
It just makes you think.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it's made me think very hard about those poor people who have no sense of belonging because for whatever reason they've had to leave their home, and you know, they are waiting perhaps the whims of the Home Office to find out where they're going to go, and it made me appreciate the luck that we had to be able to choose.
And I think we're all migrants though, Jean, aren't we? We're all migrants in the sense of anything can happen in Crawley tomorrow and we might have to move somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the Syrian refugees, the Afghani refugees, the Ukraine refugees. they're all coming in their journeys, and they're all coming to find a place to belong, really. And I don't think people forget their roots, though, their heritage, you know, your language, your faith, your food, and even wherever you go, we're so diverse at the moment, and you can capture a bit of your birth countries everywhere you go. So I think we're all kind of migrants in a sense.
Yes,
we're only here for a little while,
yes, that's,
and then that's
very
it.
interesting. Yes,
The project belonging to Crawley brings all those things to the forefront, I
it
think.
does. Yeah, and I'm really pleased to have been part of it. Yes, I hope it can continue in some way or another.
Brilliant.
Yes, okay, very brilliant. Lots of chatting. Yes.